What's up, everybody? It's Erskine the Prophet here to do another video. And this video is going to be called MMA Fans. We need to see Khabib versus Pitbull. I was supposed to take a break from making videos to work on my book, but I just had to make this one because I watched UFC 257. And there were two very important lightweight fights on that card. Michael Chandler versus Dan Hooker and Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor, and two awesome fights. But it got me, okay, I'm guessing y'all saw the card, so y'all know that Michael Chandler knocked out Dan Hooker in the first round, and TKO'd him in the first round. And Dustin Poirier TKO'd Conor McGregor in the second round. Now, I'm gonna tell you the reason why this really caught my attention is because nobody's never knocked out Dan Hooker before, so Michael Chandler made a hell of a debut in the UFC, doing something nobody's ever done before. But then I got to thinking, man, if Michael Chandler ends up beating another like top lightweight and then somehow ends up becoming the lightweight champ or interim lightweight champ, that would mean unless Khabib comes back and beats Michael Chandler, that might mean that Khabib is not the best lightweight in the world. Pitbull from Bellator may be the best lightweight in the world. He's currently the Bellator featherweight and lightweight champ. He's a double champ in Bellator. And he had his way with Michael Chandler twice. Chandler couldn't do nothing with Pitbull. That's why Chandler left Bellator and came to UFC. He can't do anything. He can't beat Pitbull. So say if Khabib fought Michael Chandler and lost, that would definitely make Pitbull the best lightweight in the world. But say if Khabib comes back and beats Michael Chandler, then it's a toss-up as to who the best is between those two. He's the only guy in Bellator who I can say might be better than every lightweight in the UFC. I don't think they have anybody in any other weight class that I could say that about in Bellator. Definitely. That's definitely the case. Not the case in welterweight, heavyweight, light heavyweight. You know, even though Corey Anderson tries to say that they have a better light heavyweight division, understand that Corey Anderson got knocked out by the lightweight champ that's currently in the UFC. So for him, he left the UFC after getting knocked out. And then he went to Bellator and fought Melvin Manhoff. Like, who the F is Melvin Manhoff compared to the UFC's light heavyweight division? So he's just blowing smoke. I wouldn't listen to anything he says. Now, I'm going to tell you somebody else who's blowing some smoke, and I have to comment on this. And I love this fighter. I love the way he fights, but he's talking some really, really stupid stuff right now. And that's my man, Dustin Poirier. Now, Dustin Poirier said that him and Conor McGregor should fight a trilogy match, a rematch, and it should be for the lightweight title. So I don't know what, man, I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm real big into cannabis. You know, that's a huge part of my life. I love cannabis. So I'm gonna assume that Dustin got his hands on something better than anything I've gotten before, because that makes no sense at all. So basically, we should see him fight a guy he just knocked out again, and it should be for the lightweight title. Thank God Dustin Poirier is not a matchmaker in the UFC, because that makes no sense. And then that's not the end of his stupidity, though. He also went on to say that he wouldn't fight Michael Chandler under any circumstances, because Michael Chandler basically hasn't paid his dues. Now, once again, Dustin must got his hands on some real good stuff, because Dustin basically said that Michael Chandler just beat the guy that he already beat. But the two wins are apples and oranges. They couldn't be further apart. Dustin Poirier's win is nowhere even on the radar of Michael Chandler's win. Dan Hangman Hooker gave Dustin all he could handle. That was a 5-round war, and Dustin barely won that fight. It wasn't like no blowout. That was a close fight. Michael Chandler came in and destroyed Dan Hangman Hooker. So to say that he doesn't deserve a shot makes no sense. But with that said, if Dustin wanted to fight Charles Oliveira, if they wanted to do an interim lightweight title fight between Charles Oliveira and, Dustin, I'm cool with that. Because to be honest, with the exception of Charles Oliveira and Michael Chandler, Dustin has beaten every other lightweight in the division. That's why I said I give him his props. He's a beast, but he's saying some dumb stuff right now. You know, I don't know if it's emotional or what, but what he's saying just doesn't make a lot of sense. So, you know, if they wanted to do that, I would be fine with that. I would be fine with Michael Chandler. I'm trying to think, who would I want to see Michael? I guess the best fight for Michael Chandler, if they don't, because they might just try to throw him into a title fight, depending on how this stuff plays out. You know, if they don't throw him into a title fight, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight Justin Gaethje, and that would be and you know, the winner of that fight should, you know, get another title shot. So I'm gonna say the best fighters right now are Dustin Poirier. I gotta throw Michael Chandler in there now. Charles Oliveira. I said Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, even though Conor McGregor lost that fight, and I knew he was gonna lose that fight, I just felt Dustin's boxing game was too complete for him. Conor still impressed me in that loss. You know, I'm gonna say this, man, Conor got some serious speed and some serious power. And if he just tighten his boxing game up a little bit, and his takedown defense is good, he's good on the, you know, it's hard to like really control him on the ground. If he tightens up his boxing game a little bit, man, Conor McGregor is going to be a force. If he really gets serious about fighting MMA again and tightens up his boxing game, it's going to be damn near impossible to stop him because he's just so fast and so powerful. And I'm going to tell y'all, I hate to say this, but the next fight, Conor McGregor's talking about fighting Nate Diaz. Man, honestly, I'm so sick of the Diaz brothers. I don't care. They're not relevant in any division at this point. Yeah, they talk a bunch of trash and, yeah, you know, whoop-de-woo. But when it comes to fighting, neither one of them are relevant at all. Nate Diaz is not relevant in the lightweight division at all. He's not relevant in the welterweight division at all. My man, my favorite fighter in the UFC, Jorge Masvidal, smoked Nate Diaz's boots, busted his ass, beat the shit out of Nate Diaz. That's what Jorge Masvidal did. So Nate Diaz is not even relevant. I'm sick of hearing about him. Who else did I hear about? Him fighting another fight with Dustin Poirier would be stupid. Dustin Poirier just TKO'd him. Now, yes, Conor McGregor did TKO Dustin Poirier years ago in the featherweight division. That fight's not relevant now, you know, for the lightweight division. That was the featherweight division. That was years ago. So I don't want to see Conor McGregor fight Dustin Poirier again, even though the result might be different the next time. Like I said, if Conor tightens up certain things with his boxing game, nobody's going to be able to strike with him. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that Conor McGregor, you know, really does tighten up those aspects of his game, because he's going to be a monster at lightweight. I'm going to tell you, Conor McGregor, whether you love him or hate him, Conor McGregor is a beast in terms of his speed and power. Ain't nobody else punching like him in the lightweight division. So, you know, if he turns things around, he could probably be just like Izzy in the middleweight division, or I'm trying to think of another good striker, Stipe in the heavyweight division. You know, my man Jan Blachowicz in the light heavyweight division. By the way, he's the one who knocked Corey Anderson out. You know, they're like good strikers, you know, and I believe that Conor McGregor could be even a few levels above those guys if he really tightens his game up. If he tightens his game up, Dustin won't stand a chance. I knew Dustin was going to beat him because I knew Conor McGregor, he fought one time at lightweight. That was against Eddie Alvarez. And Eddie Alvarez was a serious opponent, but he caught him. But I just knew that Dustin wasn't going to get caught like that. And the boxing game was going to be too much. Like I said, if Conor tightens it up, he could be I could definitely see him being champion with Khabib out. Khabib is the best lightweight in the UFC, hands down. Nobody, with the exception of, we haven't seen him fight Charles Oliveira, we haven't seen him fight Michael Chandler, but we know he done choked everybody else out. So none of those guys can beat Khabib. And that's why as long as Khabib is around, you can only really have an interim belt, because Khabib is the real champ. And how can Dustin be the champ after he just got choked out, or Justin Gaethje after he just got choked out, or Conor McGregor after he just got choked out? You know what I'm saying? It just, you can't do it. It has to be interim for now, unless Charles Oliveira or Michael Chandler ends up winning. Then at that point, you know, you can figure out whether you want to keep them interim or make them the official champ. But anyway, I got off track, and I was about to say a match for Conor McGregor. The best fight for him right now, in my opinion, would be Tony Ferguson. That's the fight they should make for Conor McGregor. And I'm going to tell you the honest to God's truth, I think Conor is going to kill him because I think Tony Ferguson's day is done in terms of being a top-tier competitor in the lightweight division. Honestly, I don't really see him beating anybody in the top 5 right now. He's taking a lot of damage. You know, that damage catches up to you after time. I don't see him beating Justin, Dustin, Conor. I don't see him beating Charles. Actually, Charles just, like, beat him anyway. But, you know, I don't see... And to be honest, it don't look like he could beat Michael Chandler either. So, now that I got all that out the way, the whole purpose of me even making this video was to talk about Pitbull fighting Khabib. That's the fight that needs to happen, honestly, in terms of the 2 best lightweights in the world fighting each other. Now, Pitbull fights for Bellator, and Khabib, you know, is semi-retired in the UFC. But I got a feeling if they were able to get Pitbull over to UFC, I believe Khabib will come out of retirement immediately because that's the kind of guy that Khabib is. He's the real deal. And Pitbull is the real deal. So that's why this fight, I don't know how they can make it happen. But, you know, I'm going to say this. In mixed martial arts, the world is different now. COVID-19 has totally changed everything up. We're not operating in the same way that we used to. So in my opinion, I believe that Scott Coker and Dana White could get together somehow and make this fight happen. I don't know if Scott Coker would need to release Pitbull for like maybe a fight or 2, release him from his contract. You know, Pitbull comes to UFC, excuse me, signs a 2-fight contract, you know, fights Khabib, and then if he beats Khabib, he gives him a rematch, you know, something like that maybe. Or maybe they, excuse me, maybe they could just even promote like a card together, you know, just maybe like once a year, once every other year, something like that, where we have like Pitbull versus Khabib as the, you know, the top match, the main event. Honestly, I would really have to think about the other fights because honestly, yeah, I would have to think about the other fights if they did it like that. If they wanted to co-promote a card, you know, I would be down with that. But all I know for a fact is that somehow Pitbull needs to fight Khabib. Those are the 2 best lightweights in the world. And they need to fight so we can see who really is the best lightweight in the world. And they both bring different skill sets. Pitbull is a phenomenal striker, and Khabib is a phenomenal wrestler. So, you know, you're saying the best striker versus the best wrestler, and who will win. And to be honest, I really don't know who will win between those 2. That's why it's so intriguing to me. And I know Dana White is the type of person who loves to see the best fights as well. That's why he's such a successful promoter, because he actually loves the fight game. He loves watching good fights too. So I know in Dana White's heart, he has to know that this fight has to happen some way, somehow. Pitbull is that good. And seeing what Chandler did to Dan Hooker and what Pitbull has done to Michael Chandler, you know, I'm going to tell you, I don't know how we got to see that fight. Pitbull really needs to be fighting in UFC. And I'm going to tell y'all, a bunch of those other fighters in Bellator, if Bellator got any division that can kind of hang with the UFC, is just their lightweight division. Their lightweight division is off the chain. And they got some really good fighters, you know, some really good fighters in their lightweight division. So, you know, it sucks. I mean, I know in boxing, anybody can fight anybody, even though the promoters play a lot of games and don't let the fighters fight. You know, like Terrence Crawford still hasn't fought. I can't even think of the guy's name. Earl Spence Jr. Like, these guys haven't fought and don't seem to be. They're like the 2 best boxers in the welterweight division, but they just can't seem to make a fight. You know, for stupid reasons, man. And that's one thing these fighters got to realize, man. Sometimes you just got to take the opportunity. Stop trying to look and play games and do all this. Just take the opportunity and run with it. You know what I'm saying? You never know. I mean, honestly, why do you think Nate Diaz is so popular? Because Conor McGregor fought him twice. And Conor McGregor didn't have to take that fight. They fought it at welterweight. Conor McGregor could have easily turned that fight down. But that fight ended up making Diaz a household name when he beat Conor McGregor. And sometimes you just got to take those fights. And even if you don't think it's up to your standard, you never know which fight is going to put you, in that position, that money-making position. You just never know. But anyway, man, please, if y'all agree with me, man, please leave some comments. But if you know MMA like that, I just don't see a bigger fight than Pitbull versus Khabib at this point. That's the biggest fight I could imagine if they promote it right. If it was to happen some way, somehow. And I hope it does some way, somehow. So yeah, man, please like the video. If y'all agree, y'all think that fight should happen, leave a comment. Hey, subscribe to the channel. I love new members. I love y'all. I love my family. My 200 plus subscribers. I love y'all. I love y'all to death. Everybody, please stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong. Peace.